everyone, welcome to another video. This is the first overnight adventure from my new home. If you missed the last couple of videos, we recently relocated. We moved from Ogden, Utah to Pocatello, Idaho. So we live now in southeast Idaho. This trip is a combination of kind of exploring, just putting my feelers out to see what some of the things in this area are like, but also I'm here to see some sights and show them to you, and then also climb a mountain. So normal stuff that you'd come to expect from me, good stuff. And right now I am in what was formerly a state park. This was called Indian Rocks State Park. This is about 15-20 minutes from Pocatello, from where I live. We're in this beautiful valley that has the interstate running through it. This is called Marsh Valley. It's lined on the west by these mountains here, and this is north toward Pocatello, and then we've got these mountains lining the east side. And then tomorrow I'm going to be climbing this mountain, which is one of the larger mountains in this region. But like I said, I'm at what used to be a state park, Indian Rock State Park. It has since reverted to BLM control, BLM land. And as you might expect from the name, Indian Rock State Park, there's some petroglyphs here. So here are some basalt boulders, some basalt erratics, and you can clearly see some petroglyphs over here. And we've got some right here as well. And right here. And right here. And I think that's about it for this little cluster of boulders here. There's some more, I guess, over on the top of this one. I don't know if you can see them very well. And like I said, this is now BLM land, so you can camp here. I'm gonna head back to the car now, and I guess I'll drive through what used to be the state park a little bit more. I imagine there's gotta be more rock art here somewhere. You wouldn't build an entire state park around one cluster of 4 little boulders. So there might be another section up here. If I can't find it, I'll just move on. But this is my first time here, so I do kind of want to just drive around and explore a little bit. There's a fire ring right here on the ground in this little pull-out area, so you could camp here. And then there's I just saw a Class A RV over here, right here, that's camped out. Apart from the interstate noise, which is faint but noticeable, this is a pretty nice area to camp. It's quiet, and I mean, they still have like these are old campsites that of course you used to have to pay for in the state park, but not anymore. There's got to be more rock art here somewhere, but I don't know where it is, so I'm gonna have to do a bit more research. There's really not much information about this place, but if it exists, I'll find it somehow. We're gonna drive now about half an hour away, half an hour further south, to an interesting point of interest for people who like geological oddities and the history of geology, I guess. I don't know, it's hard to explain. I'll let you know when I get there. Okay, we are at Red Rock Pass. This is off a little state highway or something. There's this little pull-out here. I'm gonna climb these steps up to the top of this little hill to get a better view. So you've heard me talk in my videos in the past about ancient Lake Bonneville. It was a freshwater lake that covered a lot of the Great Basin in the western US, so a big chunk of Utah, and then Idaho and Nevada. The Great Salt Lake is a remnant of that lake. All right, I'm up here at the top. Got some interesting limestone rock formations over there. And this is looking out to the south. And the interesting thing about this pass, about Red Rock Pass, is that it was the northern end of Lake Bonneville. And then about 15,000 years ago, or 14,500 years ago, all of this out here, which was Lake Bonneville, crested this pass. It broke through this natural dam that was here and flowed out this way. This is looking out to the north toward the Snake River. And out here was south, where Lake Bonneville was, is called the Great Basin. No water in the Great Basin out here, which covers most of Utah and most of Nevada and parts of other states. The Great Basin has no natural outlet to the sea. All the water that flows into there eventually evaporates. And so all the water that was there in Lake Bonneville, which was in the Great Basin, broke through here, created a massive flood that flowed north further into Idaho this way and into the Snake River, which is a large river in southern Idaho, you know, maybe an hour north of here. And then that eventually flowed into the Columbia River, which flowed into the Pacific Ocean. And this flood, when it broke through here at this spot, was like the first or second largest flood in history. Just a massive flood, 400 or 500 foot high wall of water, destroyed everything in its path. The boulders that the petroglyphs were on, those like rounded basalt boulders, were all caused from the flood. And so throughout southern Idaho and along the Snake River, you see those basalt boulders, those volcanic boulders. Those are a result of the flood. I think I read online that the main flood lasted for like a few weeks, and then it kind of was years before everything kind of got back more or less to normal. And this is the spot where it happened. So I'm on this hill, and then the second thing up here, there's a little monument right here to Captain Jefferson Hunt, soldier, pioneer, churchman. He's an interesting guy. I'll put a link to his Wikipedia page in the description. I was reading it earlier. I'm not going to go into detail about him here, but if you want to learn more about him, you can. He and a few members of his family are buried in this tiny little cemetery right here. There's a sign here at the base of the hill talking about the flood that happened. And here's a nice map to help explain what I'm talking about here. So this is northern Utah right here, and here's Nevada and southern Idaho, and this is western Wyoming. The green is Lake Bonneville, or what it used to be. The blue here is the modern Great Salt Lake. And then I'm right here at Red Rock Pass. This orange is the path of the flood. So the water, all this green, not all of it, but a lot of this green just flowed out here and through the Snake River, then on to the Columbia River and the Pacific Ocean. It's 2 o'clock now. I'm going to go check out some creeks to fish. I may or may not fish today. If I see a creek that looks especially inviting, I'll fish. But I do want to go check them out just for my own future reference. And so we're gonna go check one out just like 15 minutes from here. So I've pulled off and parked my car on the side of this tiny little road here. It looks like there's a little waterfall or something over on the creek. Let's go check it out. Oh, interesting. This is man-made. This is the top of that little dam thing. This looks like good holding water for fish, so I'm gonna bust out the rod and try to catch something over there. But just look how pretty this area is. And this is all within an hour of where I live. Pretty happy about that. Look at this spring gushing out of the rock here. And let me tell you, this water is just frigid, absolutely freezing water. That is really, really cool. Well, I'm right below the waterfall. I decided to cast my line in, and of course when I wasn't filming, I caught a fish. It's a 14-inch rainbow trout. Look at this thing. That is a big fish. Well, I don't know if you could hear what I was saying out there because of the water noise, but at first I went on top of the waterfall thing to fish there. Didn't see any fish. Saw a really cool spring gushing out of the rock, gushing out of the mountainside. That was really neat. It makes sense that there aren't fish above there. I mean, there might be, but it would make sense if there aren't because there's this huge, you know, man-made barrier in the way in the form of that waterfall. I think there was a mill here, and you know, that waterfall and everything, that's all part of the mill that I believe was here. And I was fishing up there the whole time, and then I went down below the waterfall, thought, what the heck, I might as well toss my fly into the water here. And of course, that's when I caught a fish, and I wasn't recording on my GoPro. But caught that beautiful 13 or 14-inch rainbow trout. I think that's the biggest rainbow I've caught. And it was up here in this tiny little creek, tiny little stream. That's amazing. I think I'm gonna go try to find a campsite now. It's 5:30. I think I'll go to where I'll be hiking tomorrow and try to camp near the trailhead. I don't know if there are campsites there, but I'll see if I can find somewhere to park my car. If I can't in that canyon, maybe in a neighboring canyon I can find a place. All right, I found a campsite. I'm tucked away behind these trees, kind of. This leads out to the main road going through the canyon. The canyon itself looks pretty cool. Got some nice cliffs up there. More space to pitch a tent or park your vehicle. And then we have the creek down here. I don't believe this creek has fish in it. I don't even know if it's a perennial stream. Thanks for watching. Let me know what your favorite part of the video was, and I'll see you in the next one.